All right, moving on to show and tell. You folks online, Rylan, you got anything to discuss or show or tell or what?
Not at this time. I haven't really felt like doing anything.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah,
John,
no, not this week. No, thanks.
oh, well, holy moly. How about you, Kevin?
Well, if you have seen my last video, I've been working on the lights and exploring different ways of making the stern lights. And I'm now about to do it the correct way, which is to use the system that David and Shirl came up with, which is to make the individual mullions and make a very flat piece. So for those of you who've never made lights, it'll be interesting when the series is finished, because I will have covered 4 different ways. And right now I'm waiting on some, I think it's called mica, in exchange of glass. And it's real thin and you can cut it with the scissors. So I should get a real nice, clean plate of glass behind the frame. So that's where I am.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks. Now, how clear is mica? Is it glass-like or is it?
It doesn't actually, it's interesting. No, it's not crystal clear. And it's almost opaque. But even when I put the plexiglass on it, I don't actually want to look through the glass. So I actually sand the back of it. So you can't see through it, but you get a nice shiny glass finish on the outside.
Okay. Well, you need to build the interior then.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, let's go around the room. You ready, Caelen? Would you like to start?
Yes, sir.
All right. Enthusiasm. Let me see. Where can we get a camera for you? Which one you got active? This one?
No, on the tripod.
You know, I could probably come to you, might be easier. There we go.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I am glad to be with you 1 month at the Small Society. I have some new ships. Stephen brought some of them made a cardboard. Like I said, the last meeting I made some out of cardboard. We'll first start off with my newly built one, the flyer boat, John J. Harvey. Our flyer boat built in 1931. This flyer boat can come up to 18,000 gallons of water per minute. Fire boat was also there during the September 11 attacks.
So it's in New York.
Yes, it is.
Have you seen the museums tomorrow? The fireboat?
It is. No, I don't think so. And
We're
if
gonna have to get the permission for you to go see it.
and you guys, and you gentlemen might remember me talking about my cardboard model of this thing with the hand and last week. Well, here it is. You can tell there's the paddle box. Kind of like the detail. And yes, I have a tugboat. I haven't painted it yet. But I've done a very nice job. Including you two gentlemen. You guys did a fine job on your model. Oh, and another thing. Not only do I build models of ships, I also want to build models of steam locomotives. Yeah, steam locomotives.
Well, we've got quite a few, or at least several train enthusiasts in this.
Yeah.
You didn't build the one that's down in the taco stand, did you?
No, I built like actual steam locomotives, like the big, powerful black ones. Like,
Good boy.
That's one of my next upcoming models.
Big one,
And just 4014.
ever seen that?
Yeah.
That's big.
And you have a monitor here, right?
Yep. This model looks to keep me company every time I come. Now, it doesn't look perfect, but it does look good.
There you go, Heinz.
Yep, definitely one thing. It'll be perfect, but it will always be big. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
John?
You want to follow up to that?
Yeah, since I'm here.
We do this differently every time.
All right. Last month I brought the Lighthouse Tender Beach, just to show progress. This month, I thought I would just bring in the revenue cutter. Unnamed yet, I haven't decided which one of the class, but it also was a victim of having its hull painted when the weather was nice this spring. And it made a huge difference in the appearance. That and setting it, making the stanchions and setting on the stanchions made a huge difference in the appearance of the model. So I just bring it in because I really like looking at the shape of this hull.
For the sake of the minutes and the web posting, what's the class of the unnamed model?
It's I actually don't remember the class name.
Okay.
If the Coast Guard or the revenue cutter classified them as the 100-foot cutters, and they weren't in service very long. They were made for the during Prohibition as run running, and they were too slow to catch anything. And so the mission was that they would take them past the 3-mile limit where the booze was brought in, usually on schooners. And the schooner would anchor outside the limits, and the speedboats would run out there. They'd fill them full of booze and run it to shore real fast. So what they did with these ships is they would take them out there and anchor them next to the schooner, to sort of prevent the offloading. But since there were only 10 of them, I don't think they caught everybody. Kind of like what we do today, you catch some, you miss a bunch. So, but short-lived, they were slow. The range wasn't good. They were good sea boats, but they were immediately replaced by the 125s, or what they call the bucket and a quarter, which lasted, and they built a lot of them, and they lasted a long time. So that was a very successful design. So this was, you could say this maybe was a prototype to get to that good design. But it's a good looking vessel. And that's what caught my eye. That different.
All right, thanks, John. All right, who's next? We got, well, I can't reach you.
Be on the side.
First of all, before I show the models, got duplicate books in my library. 5 Dewey Landon historical fictions. We would like those. He's about 20 books in the series. He's a bit of a rogue.
How late are they? Are they early ones or are they later?
More early ones.
Okay.
I found older historical fictions. Authors, I like
already
when they're ranked captain and below. The admiral, the books kind of get old.
I'm sort of stuck on 11. Can't find next book.
Anybody's welcome to have those. They're my duplicates. I also have McCain ship model making, Spanish galleon flagman Lucia, and the USS Constitution. They don't have the plans in them. My other copies have the plans in them. So if somebody wants these and wants the plans, we can go to Office Depot or somewhere and copy the plans. Nobody takes them here. They'll go to the model Constitution. Those are a little bit
Before you start, while we're on the topic of books, I'd like to share something real quick.
Okay.
So from past auctions, there's been some leftovers that I thought were too good to throw out. So if you sign in and under members, there's a store/auction. There's a number of books that are quite popular, but I guess everyone already has them, but every once in a while we get new members or people that weren't at the auction come along. So I just want to remind you that they're here. Just about every one of them is available for a whopping $1 donation. Nelson's Anatomy of the Ships, Jack's Day, Charles W. Morgan, there's a few basic tools still available. Rights. Anyway, just check it out.
Where are they?
Most of them are in my possession or John's. Yeah, we can add to the taco stand if that's what you were thinking. All right, sorry to interrupt show and tell. Go ahead.
That's okay. So first thing is, I like to have two projects going at once. My son gave me this, not model, but puzzle for Christmas. And it is 140 pieces die cut. And that was a fun little distraction. Theoretically, you shouldn't have to use any glue. I started gluing and then decided if I followed, didn't really need any glue other than right about here. Keep the mass up. But I don't think it's in production anymore, but I found it on eBay and Amazon. It's $15, $20. If you're looking for distraction or somebody new to modeling you want to give a fun little project to, I highly recommend it. They have lots of other stuff, steam engines and railroads. That was the only thing I saw in cruising. And I've got my longboat models making progress. The hull is done. And getting onto the interior, I've got the couple pieces cut. I'm doing the top rail is one solid piece. Once I've got it trimmed onto the exterior, I'm probably going to glue it down and then cut out the middle and then do a lot more sanding. I was sanding on it last night and I stopped myself before I over-sanded. And I am going to finish it not the way the plans call with all the fancy filigree on it and stuff. I'm going to do something more like this that I found on a website that Ryland sent to me. And I'm probably even going to put the swivel gun in there. But Stewart's model in the top left of the showcase that's finished kind of weathered, I'm going to do something like that. Once I get it finished up, I'm going to do the lower hole paint with kind of watered down and faded. Then I'll make my first attempt at dry brushing. That's what I've got. The kit instructions I'll leave up here if you have somebody who can use an X-Acto knife, but doesn't need any precision. Pretty nice.
All righty, thanks. Who's next? You're next.
I am a Vine. If Amazon invites you to be a Vine, V-I-N-E, accept. Every day I get 40-some thousand items on my screen. I can pick and choose gardenware, modeling, golf, bicycling, whatever it happens to be. This is one of the items. They'll send it to you free, and then you do a review for Amazon. Once you've gotten up to a certain number of reviews and a certain percentage, you're at the point where you can ask for as many things as you wish. I'm sorry, yeah, up to 8 per day, or for me to find 1 per day for whatever cost. When I started out, I was going to do $100 and 3 a day. Now I'm a gold. Anyway, this is one of those items that they sent. It's made by the Hardell, whom I've never heard of, and most of these manufacturers you won't. They come directly from China, Japan, or wherever. It is a rechargeable Dremel for all intents and purposes. And when I got it, I charged it and had a problem starting it. You're supposed to push that twice. Well, I pushed it twice and nothing happened. The instructions didn't say push twice. They said tap twice. And that's what you do. And most of the time it starts. I just fouled it by pushing it. It's quiet.
Light. Nice.
It lights up what you're working with. It has 5 speeds, but you also just tap. And it'll hold your last setting for a certain period of time. You also tap it twice to turn it off. I'm gonna pass this around and take a look at it. I think they're about $35. I don't pay for any of the stuff I get online, but I do have a non-employee compensation form to fill out, the taxes on the values of the items that I've gotten through a year. It's worth doing. There's no separate model section that talks about exacto and test orders or anything like that, but from time to time, things come up that are of value.
Do you think you got invited because you did a whole bunch of voluntary reviews in the past, or was it totally random?
I think that's the way they choose, because when I really like something, I get a lot of stuff. I used to get a lot of stuff, pay for it from Amazon, and I usually spend some time with my reviews, so yeah, I suppose so. I don't just give it 5 stars and say, great item.
Yeah. I've got show and tell. I'm already.
Oh, okay, why don't you do
Uh,
that? All right.
quick workshop update. Warren's teased me, giving me a hard time in the past about the shop not being ADA compliant. And I know he's just joking, but I was a little concerned that there might be some truth behind the joking.
No.
And he lives close by, and I would like him to come visit someday. And if he does come visit, I'd like him to be able to go into the shop. So I did take some steps to make sure everything would be okay. I'm so catapult. I've described before how my small shop has 3 doors. 3 seems like a lot, but there was reasons for it. I won't repeat all that, but I made sure that all 3 of them were accessible. So I've got
Oh my
got a ramp for the front door. We got a cargo lift for the right side door, and a tower crane.
What's the weight limit?
And I want to be clear, Warren did say, he was teasing me several times and did say, don't worry, I can't be offended, so please don't be mad at me.
You're doing a good job.
Is this a model of the real thing?
Oh. That is, well, look at how skewed the ramp is. Yeah, that's
that's a little.
that's the,
Definitely
but actually,
support on the crane.
I tried to fix it and I decided it was better when it looked wonky.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Anyway,
Okay.
there we go.
Yeah, you gotta send me that picture.
Was my wind up good enough, or?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see, which, you wanted this one in there?
I see Joseph had joined us. Does he have anything to share? Do you have anything? Are you online?
Yeah.
I don't have any much progress on any of my wooden ship modeling, but I did complete this plastic model of HMS Agincourt, the 7-turret British-built battleship that was originally built for the Brazilians before the First World War, and ended up getting sold to Turkey and then confiscated by the British. And I think it served at Jutland.
Can I interrupt for a moment? Do you have a light that you could shine? Or
Yeah.
it might be the background is skewing it. Because all we see is that you
Actually, we have to do the opposite of that, actually.
Yeah.
It's your background light that's causing the issue.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is terrible. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting to turn my camera on. Let's-
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah. You don't have a lamp on that desk that you could turn on, or?
I don't. I'm afraid.
All right. Oh, that's
That's a little better right there.
Yeah. This is a really fun kit. Very detailed, and builds into a nice ship. It was from Flyhawk, 1/700 scale. So I really like building these because they're pretty easy to make and just fun to have on the shelf. So
Very good. I appreciate it. Thanks. All righty. Yeah, go ahead.
You can ring it.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
do that.
All right. Well, most of you know I've been working on a model of the Captain John Smith shallop down in the taco stand. Been working on that damn thing for a year. And finally just got fed up with the details of it. Decided to put it aside and do something totally different. So I bought that for $1 at an auction, not knowing what I was buying. But I put it together. It took all of about 4 hours to put the whole thing together. And it's a working model, so to speak, of a walking beam engine. So I figured, well, what the heck, I'll just build it. We'll put it in the taco stand. It's gonna stay there. It's available to show to young modelers, young builders. They're interested in something like that. In fact, I think it's probably pretty durable. So hand it to them if you have that amount of courage. And let them play with it. They can't hurt it. If they do hurt it, then so what? Only costs $1. On the other corner of that room with the model shop, there is a model of the Hudson River steam ferry, Armenia, which is was a working walking beam propelled vessel. Can't tell much about it, but this is the kind of engine that was in it. So you can tell the guy to go up there and look at it. And this is the kind of engine that was in it. There is also another model of a walking beam engine right next to it. It's about that big, enormous. I don't know how many people have stopped and looked at it. It's amazing, beautiful. Looks like it would work.
They used to,
It used to, I'm sure it used to have a motor in there to make it work.
until they moved it from the other room.
Yeah.
It's a shame they don't have them running anymore. All three of those used to move.
You look at it, unless you're a mechanical engineer, the details will lose you. Oh, this simplifies it. This is what it did. Doesn't work backwards, by the way. You have to turn it. But at any rate, it's there in the shop, and for you people who are working in the shop, feel free to demonstrate it and pull it out.
How many people on the vessel have?
Huh?
They had a mouse.
Vessel had, how many people on the vessel do they have to crank the wheel?
I don't know, a couple hundred maybe. Yeah, I was thinking about putting some blades on it and make it look like a paddle wheel. That was too much.
You should have a ship model of that.
All right. Thank you very much.
I follow a company called Lee Valley Tools, and they kind of had this miniature block plane on there. And I know some of us, like the small stuff. I just couldn't resist it. $50. But it is really nice. Stainless steel works to it. It's actually a working plane. If anybody's interested, they have 2 or 3, and they got a whole set, collectible miniature on their website.
Where is this now?
Lee Valley Tools. Online. So
Very
anyway,
nice, very pricey tool.
Yeah, very pricey tools, but
How much?
if you're into collecting little stuff like that, it's a great little thing.
How much was it?
$50.
Hey, Kevin Kenny was showing a bunch of chisels he had in a meeting recording I was going over. It's like, showing all his Lee Valley tools. It's like
Nice stuff.
Must have a good bank account.
Yeah, deep pocket.
Sean, did you want to talk anything?
Or he found it off.
Presentation. Okay.
Bill Dangler, I think, had a bunch of small planes too.
Alrighty, I guess I'm the last. Here is the Arizona update. Have a few closer up photographs of it.
Pull those up now.
Yeah, go ahead. Incremental improvement. I mean, lately it's been the small boats, the cage masts, the padding on the cage masts, the range finders. Yeah.
What year?
Circa 1916, 17. And this is a photograph of the actual showing the top of the rangefinder platform with the mattresses.
That might work.
Okay, and on the lower level, again around the spotlights, they did the same kind of padding to shield from splinters. And I probably touched on this last month. I etched them in brass with a dimpling and then bent them to shape for the installation. And here it is going around the platform holding the rangefinder. And here it is kind of complete. Can't zoom in.
What did the dimple?
Well, it simulates a mattress. Yeah. Because essentially I think that's all they were.
Splinter.
Yeah, a splinter mattress, yeah. And around the top. And I've inserted the rangefinder. And this was a very intricately detailed piece from Model Masters out of New Zealand. I mean, the technology of 3D printing is going crazy now. I mean, the details, the finesse of small cross sections is canny. Then I started to build the gun platform on top of turret 3. This was a paper mock-up from the drawings. I then etched it and installed the 3-inch AA guns and railing around that platform. And then on to the small boats. The boats are a mix of the kit boats, which were upgraded, some 3D printed boats, because not all of the boats were available, retrofitted. And then one was scratch built essentially, because this was an admiral's barge, which unique in design. So I had to etch the cabins in brass, and the hull was cobbled together from several other pieces and stretched and reformed with Bondo and so forth. And temporarily in place on the deck. Everything is just temporarily placed right now because I want to have it removable so that I can get to the recesses behind and around before I commit it to final assembly. The boat skids I had to make all myself. And some of the extra details, strapping, and so forth. So that's pretty much where I am today. Good. And that concludes the show and tell. We'll take a short break if you have, oh, you had questions?
Yeah, the airports there on the side, were they photo etched, glued on, or is that kit? Oh,
Most of them are as it was. I only had to rearrange a few of them to reconfigure it to the earlier ship. So, yeah, no, most of them were already. All right, no more questions. We'll take a few minutes. Sean will set up for his presentation on timekeeping. All right.